Very fair, very fair. So we still do rely on these centralized entities, even in a decentralized world, right? These are the gap holders, essentially, that bridge us into that. Do you think that's going to change down the line? Do you think that even these centralized entities will disappear over time and give birth to something more decentralized where we're all validators that it is really your house and that's enough for you to tokenize it?
That's a great question. So I'm gonna also give my opinion on NFT as well before I answer that question, because NFT, I mean, it's a construct that try to create a non-fungible token, and as of the last 2 years, it has been widely used to link with real world asset, and then you tokenize it in a decentralized world. And there's no governing body that makes sure that that's true, because usually what people like to say is, I can take a picture of your JPEG, and I have another copy of that. So there's no governing that makes sure that it's true. So there's two parts of the world here where the rules are completely different. Like, you don't have to own an NFT in real world to own a picture, whereas you need to own, let's say there's a metaverse where you need to own an NFT before you can hand that picture in your house, in your virtual house. So if we all live in a virtual world, then that's going to be true, because we can ensure that if you need to own that house, you need to put your furniture in that house, you need to own an NFT to that house, you need to own that token to your house. Whereas to live in a world where there's a disconnect, I don't think that will ever happen. It's not possible. So that's why even in the world of blockchain, like, to bring certain things into the blockchain, there's a term called Oracle, where we're bringing like prices of real world assets, we're bringing in things from real world assets, like weather and all that into the blockchain, where the blockchain has a very closed system, just like ChatGPT today. Like, it's a very closed system. You can't ask anything newer than 2022 from there. It's kind of like what blockchain is. It will never be able to connect to real world. So there's no way for that to happen without going through a centralized entity.
Yeah, for me, I think, in this age and time, I think everyone's like being careful of the things they own, right? I think that's our basic thing. We have, let's say, in terms of real assets, putting it in as a digital token. If I do that, let's say a house, right? Is this exchange that I'm going to put it there as a digital token? If something happens, can I get it back, right? So in terms of in the future, where is it decentralized exchange going to be not there, or centralized not going to be there? I think for me, moving forward, like I said, internally, initially, like, if we have those projects, making sure we give the confidence, educate more people on how it's done, let them have that familiarity. Well, right now, there's still like gap between those guys who are still on the 1970s, there's still a learning curve there. But in the future, when everyone is like really educated, understands all these things, I think all these possibilities of doing everything on decentralized is possible, right? And then in terms of exchanging, like, I want to do, my house, I want to sell it to you, or the owner, I own that house and now I want to sell it to you. I don't have to do all these documents. In terms of contracts, if we do decentralized, it's all smart contracts, right? So it's now easier to do the transaction. But still, to convert that into a digital currency, or the Web3 currency, we still need the centralized exchanges.
Nice, man. Don't get married on blockchain. You can take half your tokens, half your house. There we go. All right, guys, we're pretty much out of time. We've got 20 seconds left. Any last comments from the panelists for 15 seconds? No? If not, then we're good to go. Let's have a round of applause for the speakers, the panelists. Thank you so much. Very enthused.
Thank you, Karim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Once again, a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to our panel discussion. Once again, will DEX replace CEX? Thank you very much. Next, we have another interesting topic. It's called Embracing DEI in the Web 3.0 space. So I'd like to welcome our speaker, Ms. Belinda Lim, ME3IO co-founder, Viba Singapore Rep. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. Hi. Everyone can hear me, right? Okay. Hi, everyone. I know this is like a prime time for like food coma. So before I start, let me just, like make it a bit more inclusive and make everyone feel more included in this talk, right? So I just want to do a quick exercise here. So maybe you look to your right and say hi to someone and introduce yourself. Come on, do it. Come on. If you don't have anyone beside you, you can say hi to someone in front or behind you. Yeah. Like introduce yourself, like what's your name and where you are from. Okay, that was the right side. And then now to the left side. If you are talking to someone in front, you should talk to someone behind right now. Say hi to someone beside you. Yeah. Don't worry, we are talking about the inclusive talk, so let's be very inclusive right now. Okay? I hope you made a new friend here, okay? So again, like I think a lot of people who would think about DEI would think that, hey, this could be really boring. So don't worry, I'll make it really fun for you guys and entertain you for the next 20 minutes. Okay. So before I do that, I'd just like to do a quick introduction about myself. So I'm with Belinda here again. I'm the co-founder of Me3.io. So Me3.io, we are a gaming wallet that is aiming to bridge Web 2 to Web 3. And we are focused in the Indonesian market where it's really very interesting right now. So we are invested by Kakao Games through Deborah Ecosystem Fund. We have Ken there as our investor. And also by EVOS, one of the largest esports company in Asia. So on the side, I do Women in Blockchain Asia. I head up the Singapore chapter. So Women in Blockchain Asia is a non-profit that was started in KL, Malaysia last year. And then someone asked me to like, hey, Singapore is a really important market because we have a lot of ladies working here. So I decided to head up the Singapore chapter. And what we want to do is to increase the representation of ladies in the blockchain space. Okay? I have some pointers here, so don't mind me, right? Okay. So as a co-founder, I have to attend a lot of events last year because I had to promote my company. I have to get investment from the investors. So this is me at one of the events. So I was really lucky, fortunate to attend the Philippine Blockchain Week that was held in Manila on November. So this is like a lot of me on stage talking about stuff. And I would like to do a really quick one here. Okay, this is my company t-shirt. Okay? So, like as of all the networking events, people will ask you like, hey, what's the name of your company, right? And then I realized that in one of these conversations when I was in Manila, I had an issue. So maybe you take a look at this picture and think about it. What was the issue here? I think the ladies will get it a little bit faster than the guys. But you can try. This was actually designed by one of my male colleagues who's very shredded. It looks really nice on him. Can anybody tell me why you think that? I realized I have an issue with my own company t-shirt. No? Okay, if you look at this, where is my company logo? It's actually on my chest. So like for a lot of the events, I have to like point to my asset, my company, to show my company marketing asset to be an asset to the company, right? So this is my key problem. And I think because I am the lady, when I wore that shirt, I realized that, hey, this is why you need DEI in the space, right? And I think this is a very small, funny story, but I think it's actually very important in the Web3 space. So I think as you have seen left and right, a lot of you, I think for this talk, maybe a bit more ladies, but majority are still guys. So this is where we are right now in the Web3 space. So again, for people who don't know what is Web3, so maybe I'll do a quick revision of what is Web3. So again, Web3 is a better internet for those who are very new to it. It's actually more secure, more private, and more decentralized. So again, Web3 is based out of blockchain technology, which allows for peer-to-peer transaction and eliminates the needs for intermediary like banks and corporations. In summary, that's what Web3, and this is why we are here today. But again, with great power comes great responsibility. And in the case of Web3, that responsibility includes making sure that we are building a more inclusive and equitable future. So again, you know, when you say hi, have you noticed what's the percentage in the room? I think we are a little bit better this time around. I think we are about 40, 60%. But I think if you include people outside, that would be probably about like 20, 80%. So again, like, this is quite important, as I mentioned just now, right? Like, if you have a group of homogeneous people building for a group of homogeneous, you have a group of homogeneous people building a product, and then it only works for the homogeneous group of people, which for me is like a shirt that I don't wear anymore. Don't worry, my company is creating a new shirt right now, so you'll see me in a new outfit in the future. So let me just share some stats why this is also very important to the rest of you. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So again, McKinsey has a report on the metaverse where they found out that more women than men are power users in the metaverse, which is quite surprising for me. I always thought that, you know, in the gaming, the metaverse is always going to be guys. So we have about 35% power users for women compared to 29% for guys. And then women are more likely than men to engage in the metaverse in hybrid use cases, such as fitness, education, and live events. So this is very, very interesting, which means that if you're innovating in the Web3 space, you're trying to create a new step end. You're trying to create a new exercise to earn. You're trying to do something to learn to earn, for example. The women could be the one using the app more than the guys. So you can see here, if you look at playing games using virtual reality devices, women are a bit higher. Exercising with VR, women are a little bit higher. Taking classes in virtual classroom, women are a bit higher. You're training via VR, again. And then attending live events and trying on items virtually using AR and camera while shopping. And engaging in virtual dating. So instead of maybe Tinder, Bumble will do better in the metaverse. So I think this is why we definitely need more ladies and more women in the space. Can I just have a quick show of hand, right? How many of you in your organization have women colleagues? That's pretty good. I think we have about 90% here. What about how many of your organization have women in the leadership role? Okay, we have about 40%. How many of you have not just leadership role, but co-founder level? 2. So this is really very important because if we are talking about building a world for majority of people, we cannot exclude women. And not just women, but anybody from different race, gender, regardless. Right? And I can totally understand this because recently I've been playing with Bondi. Have anyone tried Bondi? It's actually a new metaverse-like app whereby you hang around with friends. And I think it was hit with my female friends. So we were spending time chilling out with my friends inside the virtual world. And to me, it was very, very surprising that I think that this is the trend I can see within my own inner circle. And another thing about if you are not in the metaverse, let's talk about gaming. So one of the verticals for gaming is called hyper-casual gaming. And surprisingly, one of the largest group of people on the rise in terms of playing hyper-casual games, someone you would not expect. It's actually the working moms who are playing Candy Crush. So I think we have gone into the world whereby, these games are no longer targeted on the hardcore gamers. We are starting to look at a wider group of people. And I think as I mentioned in terms of product-wise, right, this is the reason why you need to have more diverse opinion coming to the building of the product. If not, you will not be able to create any good product in that sense. Okay. So I think the one tip I can give about DEI is about be deliberate in embracing DEI. Because without being deliberate, you will not get there. I can tell you very safely of the years I've been in crypto. I've been in the crypto space since 2017. We have seen improvement in terms of having more ladies working in the space. We have more different roles. We have community managers. We have chief marketing officers coming in. But we are talking about leadership like C-suite. We are actually facing, the problem is not going away. And the reason why I say be deliberate in embracing DEI, because I just want to share a little of this, back to WeBar. So again, I'm actually heading the Singapore chapter for Women in Blockchain Asia. So last year, we decided to launch a hackathon because we want to increase the number of female developers in the space. Because as you know that developers are really expensive to hire. It means that being a developer will give you a lot of financial freedom. I think anyone who's building tech product here would know about it in terms of pay. So this is why we definitely want more women to be in the position of power, in position of getting better pay. So we went to 20 universities in Malaysia, but we only accepted 7 universities. Do you know why? Because we asked for one simple commitment, a 30% female participation. And then those who can't meet that, we actually remove them from the program. So we wanted to be deliberate also to see whether we can make a difference. So in the end, this was held in, I think, November last year. This is the final. So in the end, we attracted about 160 participants in the hackathon with over 50% female participation. That's what we got. So what it means is that we need to have an environment where women feel safe to learn, grow, and to compete. And this will not happen if you are not deliberate. So as leaders, right, I think that's a very important thing that we need to do. We need to deliberately hire from a diverse background. Because, I think we can take the easy way, like, hey, whoever come and apply, just take it, and stuff like that. But the thing is that this will not help us as a company. So once we hire these people, we need to create an environment that they feel inclusive and respected. And this means that having equal growth opportunities, and this also means that giving them a sense of they have a seat on the table, and they have their voices are heard. So I think this is very, very important when we talk about not just hiring, but it's the whole entire process to include all of this element into your company. And I think I always like to share this example also, again, why diversity is so important in tech. Blockchain is still very early, I would say, in terms of a lot of this technology. But I think AI has been around for a little bit longer, so I'll use an example in AI. So there's this dating company who was trying to design their system. So they asked both male and female, what's your most important criteria in choosing a partner? And then both of them say that, hey, humor, I like humor in my partner. That's my most important criteria. So, of course, then for me it's surprising because the women all say, then can you define humor in your partner? Right, then the women are saying that, hey, I like a partner that makes me laugh. Right, okay, I'm like, oh, this is what humor means to me, right? But the guy says, the guy's definition of humor is that I want a partner, a woman, who laugh at my jokes. So I think this is something very fundamental. And in terms of when you talk about user persona, how do you build a better product, we need to include both viewpoints. And I think this has also been shared with me by another friend of mine, that their company was stagnant in terms of the dating app. And then they did hire her to have a more inclusive viewpoint, and then that's where they got a new market. Okay, then I'll just keep this really short because I know everybody had a long day. So I just want to share a little bit of one of my favorite quote. The time is right. The time is always right to do what is right. So let's build a better future for everyone. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Let's give a big round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Ms. Belinda Lim with the topic of embracing DEI in the Web 3.0 space. Okay, next, let's welcome Mr. L. Lee, Digital Treasures Center, with the next topic called Next Crypto Spring Starts with Web3 Payment. A round of applause, and let's welcome Mr. L. Lee, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey everybody, my name is Al Lee from DTC, and in a way, I'm glad to see the crowd and the audience today. To be frank and honest, it's not a lot of people. But likewise, when you look at the screen, it reflects the sentiment. It's crypto winter. So today, I didn't expect a full hall for the same reason. 1-2 years ago, it's going to be hall packed, people are squeezing outside, people can't even get into the hall, but it was a different time. right? It was when Bitcoin was 50, 58K. I hope everybody's feeling better today though, because prices have gone out a bit to 25K. I'm feeling so-so because I bought Bitcoin at 58K, so I'm still feeling a bit, okay, still gonna wait for a while. But that's the point, right? At where we are today, where the crypto market is still lukewarm, recovering, I think all of us in this room, whether you're in the crypto space, Web3 or non-Web3, you're looking for something to do or you're doing something. And you're trying to validate whether that's right or wrong. The point of me being on stage today is not so much to share about my company or anything else, but to share trends and things that I'm seeing in the industry, and hopefully that will inspire you to do some stuff as well. I've been entrepreneurial for a very long time, over 15 years of career time, started about maybe 6 or 7 ventures, including the latest in DTC, which I'm going to talk about part of that whole deck. But essentially, in the whole of last year, what we have seen is really a market correction after rounds of events that had happened. It's a cycle, it's essentially, right? Market came down, it was over-leveraged, and then we have companies like Celsius, Babel, FTX, that all got into problem, affected everybody of us in this room, essentially. Effectively wiping out a huge part of the whole market and market value and the liquidity. And when that happened, clearly we know that the market's going to crash, and we've entered into a winter. Now, I think the key thing here is that we're no longer talking about whether it's a winter, what is happening right now. We see a bit of lukewarm activity. But essentially, in this winter, what do you make best of it? How do you deal with the winter itself? I think that's really the question. In the whole of last year, we've seen a downtrend. Only this year are you seeing the recovery. Today, 25K, couple of weeks back at 23K, starting to feel a bit lukewarm, but is that really going to pop back up straight to 50K? I don't necessarily think so. I think it's going to still be a while more. What can you do with it? Now, I think in winter, every winter, and I've been through 3 of that throughout my whole career span, that's the fact that what do you do with it? And I'm here telling you that because I've really been through 3 winters, and that's sort of my career span, right? I started as an investment banker, started a few companies, a few startups. Before I started mining Ethereum in 2015-16, started the first custodian company in Singapore known as On-Chain Custodian, and then DTC, which is a payments company related to crypto right now. I've seen 3 of that, and every round, it's really what you do during that crypto winter that makes you different. Right? So if you're in this room, then you're in the right spot. Listen to what I have to say and think about it. Now, some of the trends that I really want to share with you is about the rise of crypto affluent. A CNBC survey last year showed that 83% of millennial millionaires are holding cryptocurrency, and they plan to add more. That's the first trend. The second one is the fact that we have over 80K verified $1 million of Bitcoin holding in wallets. Now, versus 2 years ago, this is a 4-fold increase. And that says something about the people willing to hold and are holding crypto asset. The second thing is, today you're in Singapore, there's a huge influx of high net worth flowing into Singapore, and Singapore is not the top country for that, right? Before Singapore and above Singapore is actually Dubai as well as Australia, where affluent are actually migrating out of their country, and of course, mainly that's China, moving into Singapore, Australia, and places like that. Henley and Partners spoke about this high net worth moving out of China, and each of them is estimated to have a net worth around 4.8 million. If you round it up to 5, multiplied by net number of inflow of high net worth in Singapore last year, 2,800, that's a $14 billion opportunity. Now, those are the 2 trends that you really need to look out for, which is the rise of crypto millennial affluent and the flow of them around the globe. And all of these people, as they move, they run into problems, which I'll talk about in a while. But more essentially, if you look at the dispersion around the countries, maybe let me step aside so you can see the chart there. In the top 6 countries, Singapore, of course, is there, Hong Kong, you've got Indonesia, Malaysia, most of the Southeast Asian economies are there. And I guess you're in the right region to do business if you're in this region. The fact is that just alone in Singapore, over 16%, about 15.6% of people hold crypto asset, and that's 2021. Very clearly today, the numbers have gone up. And that's following the same trend that I spoke about in the previous page, if you notice, right? Which is millennials the new age people, they're holding more crypto asset, and that's a huge trend that is ongoing and is not about to stop. Now, of course, if you look at the last point here, Hong Kong is going to start a new VABS regime, and we know that by June they will announce something along the lines of starting up a VARA, right, which is a regime for you to start a company, be regulated, and licensed to do crypto business. So all this is a mega trend showing that countries are going the right direction. They're adopting crypto. People are using crypto. They know that it's irreversible, right? So instead of fighting against it, why not regulate it? But the truth is that if you belong to one of this category, the millennials like ourselves spending crypto wealth, you know that you run into a lot of problems. Now the top 3 over there, lack of acceptance from merchants, right? If you were to go out there, try to buy a coffee downstairs at Starbucks, you can't do it, right? If you want to go into a bank and say that, hey, I make money from crypto wealth, can I start a bank account and bank in my money? In Singapore, I tell you, that's going to be a strict no. The last one, you don't even get any customized service. It doesn't matter whether you're a $5 million wealth, so long you're crypto wealth, probably forget it, right? Unless your arm really knows how to game the game. So with that, what we really see, it's a breakdown in what we call the last mile delivery. It's not about traditional payment, where it's about the cash delivery to the mama store and all that. We're talking about the last mile to the client to get what they want. They can't do that. From a Web 2 or a Web 3 person going to the other direction, whether you have traditional wealth in fiat money, you're trying to get your NFTs, you're trying to get your crypto asset, or the reverse, you've made your money, and now you're trying to move that back into traditional wealth to get your car, to get your property, you face a lot of hurdles in between. Now, the least of that is to say you jump through about maybe 5 to 7 steps, right? Create a wallet, deposit into an exchange, move the funds, and if you're lucky enough that exchange isn't FTX, you get your money out and you're able to buy something, right? But imagine any of those situations out of the 7 steps, you hit something wrong, you hit an FTX, from 5 million, you're left with $5 or maybe 50 cents. That's the truth. So the question is there a better way to do things? There is. And that's what I spoke about earlier on. What I'm trying to do here with DTC is the fact that we simplify that. No 5-step, no 7-step, just 1 step. One application, one solution to do all that, to simplify your life from crypto to fiat, fiat to crypto. Right? If you're excited about the opportunity there, whether you're a corporate individual, you should. To give you a better sense what we do, we have a portal for individual users and corporate for you to do your crypto fiat-related swaps. We also have a merchant solution, whether you're doing acceptance online, in-store, we solve that for you as well. And the best of that for the POS solution is I've got something with me today, which I'll show you at the end of the speech to show you a little bit about what's going on. It's the very fact that as a merchant or a corporate, you don't have to deal with crypto. And that's what changes the game. Because if you speak to MBS today, if you speak to any hoteliers, nobody wants to deal with the crypto, especially from the finance department, their compliance, their legal. The first question they ask is, do we have to handle the crypto asset? So the moment you tell them you don't have to, you only get paid out in fiat money like what you do in Visa, Master, Amex, UnionPay, Alipay, WeChat, they're excited. Now if you tell them you have to deal with the stablecoin, Bitcoin, you have, okay, well, they'll say, okay, we'll have an internal discussion. That's about it. So that's what really changes the game, which I'll show you at the end of this session to show you what can be the reality of things like. Now moving from that is this part where I'm coming back to the mega trends again, which is the third point. The reason why we're spending so much time dealing with crypto to fiat and fiat to crypto and payment is the fact that the mega trend of global digitalization of payments is irreversible as well. We're looking at about $14 trillion of volume by the time we hit 2026, right? Up 1.6 times from where we are right now. Just alone in Singapore, we're looking at $40 million of transaction, about 2.2 times, right, from where we are right now. This is just mega trend, and you know it better than me if you run businesses. If you ride on mega trends, you can't get it too wrong, right? So that's what we want to do. We've been doing that. We're very lucky to be one out of 3 fully licensed company dealing with payments in Singapore, right, by the MES. Right? For what we've done, we've won a couple of awards. Myself, I'm a 3-time winner of the Asian FinTech Award. And we've processed over $150 million worth of transactions since 2021 to 2022. We're doing more, we're growing really fast. We're still bootstrapped. So if you're interested to take part in our company, feel free to chat with me. But we're still bootstrapped at this point in time, even though we have huge volume. Now, this is the other thing that I really want to share with people in this room is the fact that I've spoken a lot about 3 trends that I've seen in the market. But to validate that, right, you need to talk to actual merchants, actual consumer. So look at the chart on the left-hand side. This is from Crypto.com's research. If you look at just where we have, you can't see the dots at the bottom, but I'll just explain that. Green color refers to merchant interest to adopt crypto payment. Blue color refers to consumer interest to adopt crypto payment. Now, what you're going to be really looking at is the travel, automotive, hospitality. Why? Because that is where merchants are not ready to present crypto solution yet, but consumers really want to pay crypto. Where there is a gap, there's opportunity for you to do that, right? So those are the area of focus that you can look at, but the whole chart paints a picture. There is a gap, lots of gaps in between what consumer want, what merchant is ready to do, right? And if you have a solution, we have a solution, you think of something they can work on, we can do this together, right? I may not know the merchant, you may, but I have the solution. So the truth is that merchants are increasingly interested to accept crypto payment. Consumers, likewise, want to pay crypto, right? There's a lot of pent-up demand. Globally, there is already 18,000 companies that are adopting crypto payment. And the most recent survey, I think 2022 by Deloitte, really tells us that over 87% of companies think that crypto payment is a competitive advantage going forward. Not your Visa, Master, Amex, UnionPay, right? But crypto payment. So my point here is there is a winter ongoing, but what you do with it is very important. And if you do it right, we're really talking about spring of crypto payment. And that's coming up next. So without further ado, what I'm going to do on stage, if anybody wants to join me on stage as well after the speech, is that I'm going to show you roughly how long it takes to just clear a crypto payment on a POS machine. In the meantime, if you want to scan my QR code to get in touch, feel free to do that. So for those people in this room, I think you can hear me. Essentially, this is... Oh no, that's not good. I can't move the chair. Can somebody help with the chair? Thanks. Yeah, I feel excited because someone wants to scan my QR code. Great, great. So while they're shifting the chair, I'm just going to use my voice, right? So this is the POS machine. On screen, I have 3 tabs: settings, crypto payment, transaction history. I'm going to tap on crypto payment. Straight away, I can key in the amount, say $1,000. Hit next, crypto asset. Straight away, QR code is presented to the consumer to scan. Right? So on the flip side, if you're a consumer, you have MetaMask, you have some kind of wallet. It's very straightforward. Thanks. Very straightforward. You can use that app. Straight away scan the QR code. Get the payment through. What essentially happens is that I'm going to be scanning the transaction through, and then the moment it processes, it will return me a result as pass or fail. Right? In typical scenario, it will generate a receipt. Like, so if anybody's interested to try this out, approach me offline at the side of the stage. I'll show you how it's done. Right? Instead of doing it on stage. But that's really it. It's really fun. We've tested this. Scanning of the QR code takes the consumer average about 5 to 10 seconds. Printing and receipt of result, 15 seconds. So all in all, within 10 to 25 seconds timing, you can get that done today. So it's as close as you can get to Visa, Master, Amex, UnionPay payment. So that's really the future of payment. If you have the right network, if you're thinking about what we can do together, come to speak to me off stage. We can have a chat again. So again, do what you can with the crypto winner, and I think the spring of crypto payment is just here. Thanks, everybody.